The abandoned space station Omega-7 drifted silently through the void, its broken hull scarred by years of neglect. Captain Marcus Vale guided his cargo ship Stardancer through the debris field, searching for salvageable parts. The 32-year-old human pilot had been making these runs for months, trying to earn enough credits to upgrade his aging vessel. Marcus docked carefully and activated his environmental suit. The station's artificial gravity still functioned in some sectors, though the air recyclers had failed long ago. His boots echoed hollowly as he explored the cargo bays, scanner in hand, searching for anything valuable. A soft whimper stopped him cold. Marcus froze, listening intently. There it was again, coming from behind a stack of empty shipping containers. He approached slowly, hand resting on his sidearm. Pirates sometimes used abandoned stations as hideouts. What he found instead broke his heart. A woman sat huddled in the shadows, her pale blue skin marking her as Stellarian. Her silver hair was matted and dirty, her once elegant robes torn and stained, but it was the child in her arms that made Marcus's breath catch. The little boy couldn't be more than 5 years old, his large violet eyes sunken with hunger. The woman looked up at Marcus with desperate hope and terror warring in her expression. She clutched her child closer, as if expecting violence. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely audible through his suit's audio pickup. "I know humans sometimes show mercy. My son, he hasn't eaten in 4 days. If you have any scraps, any food you were going to throw away." ... Her words trailed off as shame colored her delicate features. Marcus realized she was begging for garbage, for leftovers he might discard. Marcus felt something twist in his chest. He'd heard the stories about the Stellarian refugees, driven from their homeworld by the expanding Draconian Empire. Most species turned them away, considering them a burden. But looking at this mother and child, Marcus saw only suffering that he could ease. Without hesitation, he opened his cargo pack and pulled out his entire week's food supply. Protein bars, dried fruits, vitamin supplements, even his precious coffee rations. "Take it all," he said, setting the supplies before them. The woman's eyes widened in shock. We cannot possibly accept so much. We only asked for scraps, ... lady, where I come from. We don't let children starve," Marcus replied firmly. He pulled off his environmental helmet, breathing the stale station air without concern. "What are your names?" "I am Nira Moonwhisper," she said softly, unwrapping a protein bar for her son. "This is my son." Zeph. The little boy devoured the food with heartbreaking desperation, while Nira forced herself to eat slowly, savoring each bite. Marcus watched them, his mind already working. "How long have you been hiding here?" he asked. 3 weeks, Nira admitted. "We fled our transport when Draconian ships began boarding refugee vessels. They're taking our people to labor camps. Marcus made a decision that would change everything. Come with me. My ship has proper food, clean water, safe sleeping quarters." Nira stared at him as if he'd offered her the stars themselves. "Why would you help strangers? Refugees that your own Galactic Council considers unwelcome?" Marcus stood and extended his hand to help her up. "Because it's the right thing to do. And because everyone deserves a chance at something better." As Nira took his hand, her fingers warmed despite their trembling. Marcus felt an unexpected jolt of connection. Her violet eyes met his brown ones, and for a moment the universe seemed to pause. Little Zeph tugged on Marcus's jacket. "Are you going to be our friend?" he asked with the innocent hope of childhood. Marcus knelt to the boy's level and smiled. "Yes, little guy. I'm going to be your friend." Secrets in the Stars, 3 days later. Marcus's ship hummed quietly through hyperspace while Nira and Zeph adapted to their new reality. The child had regained much of his energy, exploring every inch of the small cargo vessel with boundless curiosity. His laughter filled the corridors. A sound Marcus realized he'd missed hearing. Nira had blossomed too, though she remained cautious. Clean clothes and regular meals had restored her natural elegance. Marcus found himself stealing glances at her as she moved through his ship with fluid grace, helping with small repairs and teaching Zeph about the stars. "Tell me about your people," Marcus said one evening, as they shared dinner in the small galley. Zeph had fallen asleep in Marcus's pilot chair, exhausted from a day of exploration. Nira's expression grew distant. We are stardutched, as you might say. Our ancestors learned to channel stellar energy, using it for healing, for growth, for creation. We built beautiful cities powered by captured starlight. That sounds incredible, Marcus said, leaning forward. What happened to your homeworld? Pain flickered across her features. The Draconian Empire covets our abilities. They see us as tools to be enslaved, our gifts weaponized for their conquests. Those who resist are executed as examples. Marcus reached across the table, covering her hand with his. The touch sent warmth racing through both of them. You're safe now. I won't let anyone hurt you or Zeph. Nira looked down at their joined hands, her cheeks flushing a deeper shade of blue. Marcus, you barely know us. Why risk so much? Before he could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Marcus jumped up, rushing to the control console. A massive Draconian battlecruiser had dropped out of hyperspace directly ahead of them. Cargo vessel. Prepare to be boarded. A harsh voice crackled over the comm. We are seeking Stellarian fugitives. Surrender them immediately or face destruction. Marcus's jaw clenched as he recognized. The voice of Commander Vex Ironscale, notorious for his brutality toward refugees. The draconian scaled face appeared on the view screen, reptilian eyes cold and merciless. I have no refugees aboard, Marcus lied smoothly. Just standard cargo runs. Do not test my patience, human, Vex snarled. Our sensors detect Stellarian biosignatures. You have 30 seconds to surrender them, or we open fire. Nira appeared at Marcus's shoulder, her face pale but determined. I'll go with him. You and Zeph will be safe. Like hell, Marcus growled, his hands flying over the controls. The Stardancer might be old, but she had a few tricks. Strap in. We're running. The ship lurched as Marcus pushed the engines to maximum power, diving toward a nearby asteroid field. Draconian fighters swarmed after them, energy bolts lighting up the darkness. Marcus, their ships are faster, Nira said. Clutching Zeph, who had awakened crying, Maybe, but I know these asteroids, Marcus replied grimly. He threaded the ship through impossibly narrow gaps between spinning rocks, using every trick his years of cargo running had taught him. A fighter. Exploded against an asteroid when it tried to follow too closely, but more kept coming. And the Stardancer's shields were weakening under constant fire. That's when Nira did something. Impossible. She placed her hands on the ship's hull and began to glow with soft silver light. The illumination spread through the metal itself. And suddenly, the Stardancer's damaged shields strengthened beyond their maximum capacity. How did you... double quotes Marcus began. Later, Nira said, strain evident in her voice. Can you reach the nebula ahead? My power will hide us there. Marcus pushed his ship harder than ever before, racing toward the swirling clouds of cosmic gas. Behind them, Commander Vex's voice raged over the comm, promising terrible vengeance. They plunged into the nebula just as the Stardancer's engines gave out.
Ow.
The ship going dark and silent. In the eerie quiet that followed, Marcus turned to stare at Nira, whose hands still glowed faintly with captured starlight. There's so much you don't know about me, she whispered. Marcus reached out, gently touching her luminous fingers. Then tell me everything. We have time. The nebula concealed them for 2 days, while Marcus worked to repair the Stardancer's damaged engines. During the quiet hours, Nira finally revealed the full extent of her abilities. She could channel stellar radiation, converting it into healing energy, defensive shields, or even limited offensive capabilities. Among my people, I was considered unusually gifted, she explained as she helped Marcus replace a burnt-out power coupling. That's why the Draconians want me specifically. Commander Vex believes my abilities could power their entire war fleet. Marcus paused in his work, looking at her with new understanding. That's why you were really running. Not just as a refugee, but as someone they'd never stop hunting. Nira nodded, her expression troubled. I've put you both in terrible danger. Perhaps I should Don't even think about leaving, Marcus interrupted, his voice firm but gentle. We're in this together now. Their eyes met across the cramped engine compartment, and the air between them seemed to shimmer with more than just stellar energy. Marcus found himself moving closer, drawn by something deeper than mere attraction. Marcus, Nira whispered, her breath warm against his face, before either could speak again. Zeph's excited voice echoed through the ship. Nira, Marcus, come see, there are pretty lights outside. They rushed to the viewport to find a magnificent sight. The nebula was clearing, revealing a hidden moon bathed in gentle starlight. On its surface, structures of crystalline beauty gleamed like captured rainbows. Celesta Nira breathed, wonder filling her voice. It's one of our hidden colonies. I thought they'd all been destroyed. Marcus fired up the repaired engines and guided the ship toward the moon's surface. They were met by a small delegation led by an elderly Stellarian whose silver hair seemed to contain actual stardust. I am Elder Finn Starbright, he said warmly, bracing Nira like a daughter. We sensed your stellar signature from orbit. Welcome home, child. The colony was beautiful beyond description. Crystalline spires rose from valleys of luminescent flowers, while streams of liquid light flowed between buildings that seemed grown rather than built. The Stellarians who greeted them moved with the same graceful fluidity as Nira, their skin glowing softly in harmony with their surroundings. You're safe here, Elder Finn assured them, as they were given quarters in a tower that overlooked the entire settlement. Our defenses are hidden by the nebula's radiation. That evening, as Zeph played with other Stellarian children in gardens of singing crystals, Marcus and Nira walked along a pathway lit by floating orbs of captured starlight. Your people are amazing, Marcus said. Watching children literally paint with light itself, you could stay, Nira said softly. Stopping beside a fountain that sparkled with miniature stars, the elder has already suggested it. Your knowledge of human technology, combined with our abilities, could strengthen our defenses. Marcus turned to face her fully. Is that what you want? Instead of answering, Nira reached up and touched his face, her fingertips glowing gently. Where she touched, Marcus felt a warmth that went deeper than physical sensation, as if she were sharing her very essence with him. I want many things I've never dared hope for, she whispered. Marcus pulled her closer, his arms encircling her waist. Such as a home, safety for Zeph, and ... double quotes, she hesitated, her luminous eyes searching his face. And he prompted gently. Someone who sees me as more than just my abilities. Someone who chose to help when they had nothing to gain. Their lips met in a kiss that seemed to ignite the very air around them. Nira's power responded to their emotional connection, creating a gentle aurora that danced above their heads in shades of silver and gold. When they finally broke apart, both were breathless. Marcus rested his forehead against hers, drinking in her closeness. I love you. Nira Moonwhisper, he said simply. And I love you, Marcus Vale, she replied. Her words accompanied by a pulse of pure starlight that illuminated the entire garden. Their moment of peace was shattered by urgent alarms ringing throughout the colony. Elder Finn's voice echoed from communication crystals embedded in the walls. All citizens to defensive positions. A draconian fleet has breached the nebula. Commander Vex has found us. Marcus and Nira looked at each other with grim determination. Their sanctuary was about to become a battleground, but they would face it together. The draconian fleet emerged from the nebula like predators from the depths of space. 20 warships led by Commander Vex's massive battlecruisers surrounded the moon Celesta, their weapons charging with ominous energy. Marcus stood in the colony's crystal command center alongside Elder Finn and the other defenders. Through the transparent walls, they could see Stellarian fighters rising to meet the enemy. Their ships glowing with channeled stellar energy. They have us outnumbered 4-1, reported Captain Jorah Brightwind, the colony's military commander. Our fighters are more maneuverable, but their firepower, ... double quotes, is designed to overwhelm us through sheer force. Elder Finn finished grimly. Marcus studied the tactical display. his cargo pilot experience translating surprisingly well to military strategy. What about your planetary defenses? Limited, Jorah admitted. We relied on secrecy, not fortification. Then we need to even the odds. Marcus turned to Nira, stood nearby with Zeph clinging to her robes. How many Stellarians can channel energy simultaneously? All of us, Nira replied. But why? Because I have an idea that's either brilliant or completely insane, Commander Vex's harsh voice crackled through the communication array. Stellarian scum, you have 10 minutes to surrender the fugitive Nira Moonwhisper and submit to Imperial authority. Refuse, and we will reduce your pathetic colony to cosmic dust. Elder Finn stepped forward. This is Elder Finn Starbright. We offer you no surrender. Our people choose freedom over slavery. Vex's laugh was like grinding metal. Then you choose death. All ships commence bombardment. The Draconian fleet opened fire, their energy weapons painting the void with deadly light. Stellarian fighters danced between the beams, their stellar-powered shields deflecting what they could. But the enemy's firepower was overwhelming. Nira, I need you to link with every Stellarian in the colony, Marcus said urgently. Channel all your combined power through the Stardancer's hull. That's impossible, Captain Jorah protested. No ship could contain that much stellar energy. Human ships are built different, Marcus replied.
Already running toward the landing pad.
We designed them to take punishment and keep flying. Nira caught up with him as he reached the Stardancer. Marcus, what you're proposing could kill you. The energy levels would overload every system. Marcus cupped her face in his hands, looking deep into her luminous eyes. Do you trust me? With my life, she replied without hesitation. Then help me save your people. They kissed passionately, urgently, both knowing it might be their last. When they separated, Aquez could see his own desperate love reflected in her gaze. If we survive this, Marcus said, marry me. Nira's eyes widened with surprise and joy. Yes, she whispered. Yes, in every language of the stars. Yes. Marcus ran to his ship while Nira positioned herself in the colony's central plaza. Around her, hundreds of Stellarians gathered, linking hands in concentric circles with her at the center. Stardancer to control. Marcus called over the cum as he powered up his ship. Beginning emergency ascent, the old cargo vessel rose from the moons. Surfaced just as Nira and her people began to channel their combined stellar energy. The ship's hull began to glow, first softly. Then, with increasing intensity, as more power flowed through its reinforced superstructure. Hull temperature at maximum safe levels, Marcus reported. Fighting to control the ship as energy coursed through every system. Keep going, Nira's voice came through the cum. Strained with effort, I can feel the ship accepting the power. The Stardancer transformed into a blazing star as it climbed toward the Draconian fleet. Enemy fighters converged on what they thought was an easy target, only to have their energy weapons absorbed by the ship's stellar-charged hull. Impossible. Commander Vex snarled over the cum. No human technology should be able to whose words cut off as Marcus piloted the supercharged Stardancer directly into the heart of the enemy formation. The ship's hull released the stored stellar energy in a massive pulse that overloaded the Draconian ship's systems, leaving them dead in space. But the effort had pushed the Stardancer beyond all limits. Explosions rocked the ship as system after system failed. Marcus. Nira's voice was desperate. Get out of there. Can't, Marcus replied, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. Ship's too damaged, but I've bought you time. The colony can evacuate. No, Nira said firmly. I won't lose you now. Through their connection, Marcus felt her pouring even more power into his failing ship. But this time, instead of destruction, her energy began healing the damage, repairing systems that should have been beyond salvation. How is this possible? Marcus breathed as his ship's systems came back online. Love, Nira replied simply. Love makes all things possible. Together. They finished off the remaining Draconian ships. With Marcus's tactical skill guiding Nera's stellar power and perfect harmony, when Commander Vex's damaged flagship limped away into hyperspace, the battle was won. Marcus brought the Star Dancer back to Celesta's surface, where Nera and Zeph were waiting. As he emerged from the ship, Nera threw herself into his arms, their reunion a blaze of shared starlight. "I thought I'd lost you," she whispered against his chest. "Never," Marcus replied, holding her tight. "We're bound by something stronger than stellar energy now." Little Zeph tugged on Marcus's jacket. "Does this mean you're going to stay forever?" Marcus knelt and pulled the boy into their embrace. "Forever and always, little guy? If you'll have me?" As the three of them held each other under Celesta's twin moons, surrounded by celebrating Stellarians, Marcus knew he'd found something worth more than all the cargo routes in the galaxy. He'd found home,